about. But if you can just kind of talk about your documentary, the line in the sand.
Yeah, that was super interesting, and that comes right back to Danny again. The guy on the island, John Mark, well, he's the sort of the spearhead for this movement to protect this beach. Um, he was talking with Danny and telling Danny the story. Danny told me the story, which caught my interest, and then I got in contact with John T about it. And it was a couple of days later, I was up there shooting this documentary on Amami with no real knowledge of what was going on, except that there were some people really trying to fight to save one of these beaches. And we got up there, and the people are super friendly to bring me in and help me make this documentary, like spur of the moment. There's no or anything. And yeah, so there's this beach. It's one of the last three seaside towns in all of Japan that doesn't have a concrete seawall or tetrapod, barrier out there, and they're trying to maintain that. They want to keep that the natural flow from the river and stuff. It gets really technical, and you can find out all the details if you watch it. But they're just basically trying to stop unnecessary construction that's sort of preemptive of fixing a problem that isn't actually a problem, and it would only be a problem if it was created by people. So it was a really unusual situation. And like I've worked in environmental fields quite a lot throughout my life, back in Australia, and I've tried conservation efforts in lots of different ways. And for the most part, you don't really stand a chance against big business. But this particular situation felt like they had a real chance to get what they wanted out of this, to win this fight. So I wanted to jump in and support that as much as I could. So I went up to shoot the documentary, and in doing so, I got to meet some amazing people who are now lifelong friends, I'm sure. And I got to learn all about the passive erosion stuff too, stuff I had no idea about. And a lot of my preconceptions were dispelled about how coastlines work, how beaches work, and how the natural sort of cycle of nature is a pretty amazing system within its own right that we don't really understand enough to mess around with so much.
Yeah.
And that was what was cool about it. And that fight's still going on, by the way. Like the lawyers that they called the Katoku lawyers, they're doing it all pro bono, and they're basically got an injunction with the Kagoshima prefecture to stop the construction while more research is done. And so they do a lot of fundraising and things like that to try to raise not just awareness, but also some funds so that they can continue to fight and keep that injunction in place and keep that beach safe. So there's a lot of people, a lot of avenues in that story, and that's kind of what really sparked my interest. But the people who were doing the fight were doing something that they truly cared about. It wasn't a bandwagon kind of thing, and it was a good fight, and it still is a good fight. And definitely jump over and have a look at that if you're listening to this, because every little bit of support can help those guys.